So I'm going to be starting off with my E. coli cell. So this right here is the E. coli cell. The E. coli cell is a rod-shaped, gram-negative bacteria cell that is prokaryotic, and it can reproduce through binary fusion. One thing about E. coli cells is they do not have a nucleus, which is why you can see some DNA unwound throughout the cell. So first I'd like to start off by pointing out some key features. This yellow is representing our peptidoglycan rigid cell wall, and this gray next to it is our plasma membrane, and then this white is our cytoplasm. So this green structure that I have right here is plasmid DNA, which can replicate independently off of the main chromosome, which is actually really cool if you think about it. And then this brown is representing our nucleotide DNA. Nucleotide DNA is essentially just unwound DNA throughout the cell. And then these little orange spots are just ribosomes. And then you might notice there's a structure that kind of looks like a tail. This tail is called a flagellum, and it allows the cell to move in general, or like through cell walls, like barriers, I guess I should say, through rotating. And then these black things are representing pila, which can help with adhesion to host cells. So what I have now is our human cell, which I will later compare to the E. coli cell. But our human cell has the cytoplasm, which is represented by blue, and the cytoplasm will hold the organelles within it. This white is our cell membrane, which provides protection in human cells. These little green dots, these are called lysosomes. Lysosomes can break down cellular waste and debris. This is our main important one. This is our nucleus. And then inside of the nucleus, I have our DNA. And then these purple thingies. Oh my gosh, purple things, I'm sorry. The purple figures that I have right here these are our ribosomes, and they can help synthesize protein. These red structures I have are representing mitochondria, which are the powerhouse of the cell, as we all know. Orange, this is a vacuole, which basically stores waste. It's kind of like the trash can of the cell. And then this right here is our smooth endoplasmic reticulum. This can help synthesize proteins like fats or toxins. And then this has ribosomes on it, and it is our rough endoplasmic reticulum, and this can also help synthesize proteins and process them. One thing I realized that I forgot to mention is that human cells are eukaryotic. Their DNA is inside of a nucleus, and they can replicate through mitosis or meiosis. So when we're looking at the human and the E. coli cells together, one thing that I'd like to point out is human cells do not have flagellum or pila. In addition to this, they have their DNA inside of a cell, which kind of just, human cells are a lot more organized, but they're also a lot more complex compared to an E. coli cell. So I'd actually like to talk about E. coli in the human body real quickly, because I found this information from the CDC, and I found it very interesting, and I'd just like to include it in my presentation today. So apparently not all E. coli is bad for you. There are some good E. coli. And so some good things that E. coli cells can help the human body out with, they can help out with absorption of nutrients inside of our intestines, which is pretty cool. In addition to this, E. coli can also help with our immune system development, which I didn't know any of this. I just thought E. coli was like a foodborne illness. So E. coli, I didn't get to read much about it because the CDC didn't have too much on it, but it just said that E. coli plays a role in development and function of the immune system. However, E. coli can negatively impact the human body with different strains, and those strains are going to be the ones that can cause foodborne illnesses or, give us symptoms like diarrhea, cramps, or vomiting. So you might be wondering, how can E. coli cells get into the body? So we have different reservoirs of infection that E. coli cells can get into. They can get in through food, contaminated water, person to person, and that would be like if you don't wash your hands after using the restroom, or even touching infected animals. And then I'd also like to point out, and I forgot to mention this before, the peptidoglycan factories are responsible for the growth of the wall in the E. coli cell, and obviously the human cell does not have peptidoglycan factories. So I hope that was informing to learn about the differences between human and E. coli cells and how E. coli inside of the human body isn't always bad for us, and that my overall conclusion is that human cells are a lot more complicated than this bacteria cell E. coli. And I think it's very cool. One of my favorite things to learn was that there is good E. coli, and then the different structures compared to the human cell.